Hey guys, it's Hollywood Studios here, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the recently released 2022 map for Six Flags Great Adventure. For those of you who are unaware, the map was recently released and publicized on Great Adventure History, which is a website that documents Great Adventure, and there's actually quite a few changes to this year's map. First of all, maps will not be paper printed. The only way to access the maps will be on your phone. I imagine there's probably going to be QR codes throughout the park where you'd scan it and the map shows up, but they are not doing paper maps anymore, which if you're a map collector like me, it's definitely very unfortunate, but kind of saw it coming since a lot of parks are moving in this direction anyways. But if we're taking a look at the map to look for actual changes to the map, the first thing I think everyone's going to notice is that there are now logos for all the major rides in the park. You can see it on rides like Superman, Green Lantern, King Ka, Zumanjaro, El Toro, Medusa, Mine Train, Log Flume, etc. Pretty much every major ride in the park, or anywhere they could squeeze a logo in, they did. In addition to this, you can now see the names of the areas of the park on the map. When they switched over to this new style where they show the rides based off thrill level, they removed the areas of the park from the map, so it's really good now that you can actually see what area of the park is which on the map, which is definitely great and reminds me of the older park maps. First, taking a look at things that are fully new to the map, obviously the big elephant in the room is Medusa. For those of you who are unaware, which I don't really know how you could be unaware at this point, Bizarro, which is the park's purple and blue looping coaster near El Toro, will be rethemed to Medusa for the 2022 season and will sport a brand new green and orange paint job. Medusa's new logo and the way the ride will look is shown off in this park map, as you can see here. We cannot see any theming elements for the ride, and one notable thing that was actually removed from the map was the Bizarro portal. For those of you who have ridden Bizarro, you would know that Bizarro has a really big portal with a massive sign underneath the Cobra Roll, and it was actually on older maps, but it is not here. So that does make me wonder exactly what they're going to do with Medusa's entrance, but I'm sure they're still not 100% sure yet either, and just like they have done with rides in the past where they know the ride is going to be built, they just don't know what the area is going to look like, they kind of do it very quickly and don't really put too much detail. You could even see that with Jersey Devil's area when they published the 2021 map. There really was not much detail on the map for that ride. Next, if we move over to Junior Thrill Seekers on the other side of the park, we can see that Tornado, which is the ride that is right next to Jersey Devil, has been repainted. It will actually be called Storm Chaser now. The tornado theme is gone. And right next to that ride, you can see another new ride there, and that is actually the return of Barnstormer. You could also see that the theater that was there is now gone. Where the seats were is now shaded seating, and where the theater was, of course, is where Barnstormer now is. And even though Lil Devil did actually open last year, it was not on the 2021 park map, likely because they weren't 100% sure if they were going to open it yet. So you can now see that it is in fact on the park map for 2022. In addition to this, you can now see that the signs at the entrances to Junior Thrill Seekers now do actually say Junior Thrill Seekers. It is very difficult to make out since it's a pretty low quality zoom in because of the way the picture is formatted, but you can make out that it does say Junior Thrill Seekers on both of the entrance portals, which is really cool. Some other changes I noticed is of course the fact that the no mask signs are now removed. Last year in 2021 and in 2020, we all had to wear masks for at least some point during the season. In 2021, they were dropped, I believe, around May, and they still had those signs on there for the mask-free zones. Obviously, that is not a thing anymore, so those are gone from the map. Additionally, there are family restrooms on the map. The only one I can see is the one in Adventure Alley near the Ferris wheel. It actually has a different colored symbol than the regular restroom symbol. You can also see that they snuck in some logos for some of the food places at the park. Specifically, what I see is Chopsticks, Johnny Rockets, and the new Fat Burger location. Fat Burger is replacing Johnny Rockets Nitro, and I always thought it was kind of strange how there's two Johnny Rockets very close to each other, but that is not the case anymore. As you can see, the Fat Burger logo is there. Again, it's very low quality since this is a zoom in of the picture, but you can see the Fat Burger logo there pretty clearly. Looking over near Jersey Devil, you can obviously see that the ride is no longer highlighted in white. Last year, since it was the new ride for 2021, it had a white backdrop. That is gone now, so you can see what the ride actually looks like. It looks like they really didn't change anything on the map about the area of Jersey Devil. The restrooms are still kind of shown in the woods and a little further away from where their actual location is. But something really interesting near Jersey Devil is the fact that the whole Seaport area name is completely dropped, and now that entire area, which consists of Jersey Devil, Nitro, and Congo Rapids, is all now considered the Pine Barrens, which is very, very interesting. I'm very curious if that means that we're going to see any retheming going on with Congo Rapids and Nitro. I certainly think that would be awesome, but just keep in mind that that is definitely a possibility now that that area is officially the Pine Barrens. Something interesting I noticed is that when you take a very, very close look at the buildings of Main Street, there used to be a building called Sweet Treats, which is now where the Last Drop and the other store is right there, and it was bright pink and blue, and it's actually still that same color here on the map, which I think is kind of strange. I guess maybe they didn't think to change the color of that, but it is a different color now and looks very different. But on the map itself, the name of that location still is Sweet Treats Cafe, which in a very small writing also says we proudly serve Starbucks. Most people just kind of call that the Starbucks location now. With the Safari building, you can actually see that there is a new label on it, and that is the Giraffe Encounter Tour. Before 2020, this used to operate as the station for the Safari Off-Road Adventure, but during 2020 and 2021, the Safari was changed to become the Wild Safari Drive-Thru Adventure, going back to the way it was originally run, which meant that the Safari building kind of sat vacant because there really was no use for it since people were not boarding the trucks. But now the park has introduced a new experience which allows you to pay an upcharge so that you can go and ride in the trucks to go have a encounter with the giraffes where you can feed them and whatnot. I'm not sure if you're able to go into Camp Aventura or not. That I did not remember seeing, but you can board right here and go on the trucks through the Safari, which is really, really cool. And you can even see over here that the arrow has been updated to say Giraffe Encounter Tour. Another thing is that the security building has actually been updated on the map, which pretty much confirms that we are getting a new security setup at the park, which personally I think is absolutely fantastic. You can see the building is very clearly different than the way it used to be, as it is also a very different coloring than the actual main entrance. Looks like it's definitely going to have a much better look to it, and I'm very happy to see that this is on the map and will definitely be happening in 2022. Another interesting thing to note under the theaters part of the map is that the Adventure Theater and the Liberty Square gazebo have been removed, meaning that the total count of theaters has gone from 6 to 4. They didn't confirm this, but this is a very safe assumption that both of these theaters are gone. I believe one of the theaters was pretty much right next to where Johnny Rocket's location is, near the fountain. It was a little gazebo. As far as I know, they are getting rid of that, judging off of this. And I believe the other theater is the one that was in Junior Thrill Seekers, which obviously has been removed to make way for Barnstormer. When we take a look at the labels for all of the rides, we can see that Junior Thrill Seekers has been labeled as a new theme, as well as Medusa also being labeled as a new theme. We can also take a look in the special ride rules, and this actual part of the map has been changed a little bit. It used to look a little different and use different wording. Now it is a little more descriptive in terms of the rules. You can see that no loose articles are allowed in line or on the ride, including pockets or pouches. Items must be left in a locker or with a non-rider. Eyeglasses must be secured with a safety strap. And something that they added is that Six Flags is not responsible for damage or loss. These rules apply to Jersey Devil, El Toro, King Ka, and the Joker, which is the same rules from last year. With that being said though, that is pretty much everything I've noticed that has changed on the 2022 map. This is definitely one of the greatest years at the park we've ever had, simply for the fact that we're getting so many much needed improvements that are really going to make the park a much better experience and overall just a great time. If you guys noticed any other changes that I didn't point out in the video, be sure to tell me them in the comments below. Of course, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next video.